Bad bitch, yeah, that's my shit. Boss bitch, move my shit, nimble plow shit. Yeah, that's my bitch. Boss up, that's my shit. Ladies rise up, we on up next. Boss it up now, we making them checks. Leave my name that they can't forget. Wanna say my name, bitch, speak it with respect. You got receipts, but bitch, I write the checks. I'm all up on my flex, I live with no regrets. Stand by my word, but I ain't wanna test. Coming at me, bitch, you better come correct. I go hard for my name, prestige in my game. You do the shit for fun, you do it to maintain. Shell's a bad bitch, a real bad bitch. Set to devour, and she'll never swing. Bad bitch, yeah, that's my shit. Boss bitch, that's my shit. Paid the cost, bitch. Yeah, that's my shit. That's my shit. That's my shit. Came from nothing, turned it into something. Call me all you want, but you know I'm not bluffing. Fell down once, bitch, I've never seen it again. All the way up with my pen as my friend. Little gutter bitch, hood style gutter shit. Gutter so smooth, I'm about to butter. Shifting in my place, leaving with no trace. Riding on my name, cause I'm my only ace. Gotta step the base, howdy with a chase. Tips up on my lace, and Digi on my face. She's a whole brand, Joe, running through my place. Straight on to the fashion running ways. Yeah, party vibes, we keep the shit alive. Born through the hive, hustle on the rise. Eyes on the prize, all we see is sky. Flight after flights, and now you know why. Bad bitch, yeah, that's my shit. Boss bitch, that's my shit. Paid the cost, bitch. Yeah, that's my shit. That's my shit. That's my shit. Bad bitch, yeah, that's my shit. Bossin', well equipped, boss move. No need, no script. Needed by nature, a whole new trip. Kept my own boss, pain and took no loss. Bad bitch flaws, Louis in my closet. My boss lady beat it, gotta support the cause. Mixes all met, cause I'm the biggest floss. Only hanging with the stunners, low ride gunners. One song, make a couple hundred. All up in my bag, my name's on the tag. Call me to tell it, cause I'm headed to the bank. You expected me to tank, you bet. I'm pulling on the rank, you met. I seen you face to face, and still, yeah, got nothing left to say,
Hello family, welcome to episode 2 of Vibe Freaks Ebb and Flow. Today we have our special guest, MzShellz. She's an indigenous hip hop fancy and she has been killing the game. What I love about MzShellz is that she has this incredible ambition. You've overcome adversity. I admire you so much, so much. And thank you for joining us today.
Yay. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So tell me, what do you have coming up right now?
I have performances left and right. One for the Native Hip Hop Festival, one for I got offered a gig in Las Vegas to be a part of the Entreprenative gathering that's happening in Vegas in July. And then from there, I'm going to LA to shoot a music video.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, follow MzShellz on her IG so that you can stay in the loop of all her upcoming events. What got you into hip hop? Like, why did you choose hip hop, and what has it done for you in your life?
I think I chose hip hop because it was an outlet. It was the only outlet that was positive. That instead of having alcohol or drugs or whatever, I chose music. I chose poetry. I chose my words to get it all out.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. We all need an outlet, for sure. And that's one thing I think the youth especially need nowadays, because we have so much technology, and a lot of the times the youth they turn to that, and they don't always have the best role models out there in the media, unfortunately.
I feel like for music, the outlet is very important for the youth, and I feel like that's not stressed enough. Like, it actually saved my life many times, and a lot of other people that I know.
So you've had to overcome some struggles in your life. And how did you overcome that? Obviously, we know like hip hop music has helped you overcome these struggles, but how else? Is there any other?
I would say just like keeping active. Like I threw myself into like random programs just to not be bored, because once you get bored, that's when a whole bunch of other things come into play, you know.
Temptation.
Yeah, exactly. Temptation and negative influences that can literally shape you and make you when you're a youth. So
yeah, and we were talking earlier about our childhoods, you know, behind the scenes, backstage people. And so one thing we have in common is that we were observers growing up. We had examples of what we did not want to be.
Yes.
And I just got to give you props for that, girl. You inspire me. You really do. You really do. You're an amazing woman. What is your goal for music in the industry right now, for yourself? Where
for
do you
myself, I would say I want to make music to impact people's lives. I want to make music to change, to create change. I don't want to make your music where it's like drugs and bitches and hoes and whatever, right? Like no offense to anybody doing that, but I feel like I need to be a voice because I have children. I have a daughter who's watching me. I have youth who watch me and their friends watch me. So I feel like I have an important role to create positive change and be that voice and be that woman that these youth look up to. And when I say that, it actually creates this mindfulness that I have to have when I create my music.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I want to get grimy as ever on a beat. Can I swear?
Oh, girl, swear.
I'm getting grimy as fuck. Like sometimes, and that's where I have to like draw the line. Well, not really draw a line, but I'm learning how to be mindful of what I say for the youth.
Yes.
Because my little ones are watching me, and their friends are watching me, but then it's a really weird line because I have a Grammy side to me. I have a side where it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck your shit. This is it. Like, so I'm trying to find an equal balance right now of that part.
Well, we all have that. I think we all have that grimy side, those guilty pleasures, if you will. I have them. You know, it's called dance hall. They broke out, if you will. But I think that's where, you know, it's up to the parents to educate the children on
Facts.
what's real and what isn't, you know what I mean? And the messages to live by, because let's be real, we can't avoid it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I listen to what my son's listening to and I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious? I'm like, do you know what this song is about? And he's like, no. But you teach it. You teach them, and that's the important thing. It's like parents, you still got to teach. Don't let the media teach your children. You got to teach your children. Don't let media, music, none of that shit teach your children. You got to teach your children.
That's facts.
Yes.
1,000,000%.
Absolutely. So what's your vision for your future in general?
My vision, I want to create an empire of something with Native by Nature, with the music. Like, I'm actually working towards, it's not even my features. I'm working for them. I'm working to create something for them, because they need, like, who knows, like, what the world's gonna be like. Like, it's pretty fucked up right now.
It can change at the drop of a fucking hat, and we have already seen that.
Yeah, and so, like, I need them to have something. Because I come from a bloodline where it's me. Where there's no success. There's no, like, the greatest success is somebody graduated high school. Like, and that needs to change. I want to create something. My family's going to have something. And that's why I'm working so hard to create. I don't know what I'm doing, actually. I'm just doing it, and I'm winging it. And that's probably, like, that keeps me going.
Is following your soul, girl. That's what we need to do. I think that's what more people need to do, is set aside their ego and follow their soul. Their soul's calling.
Yes, exactly. The ego. It's not.
Beautiful. Well, you spoke about Native by Nature. Tell us about Native by Nature.
Hey.
We got a Native by Nature merch here. So tell us why Native by Nature. How did you start this? Why did you start this? And where can we find some more goods?
So Native by Nature is a clothing brand that I created back in 2015. It was legit first a caption in one of my pictures. And then I threw it in a rhyme. And on my first debut single that I released, my first music video is called Get That Money, and that's a line in the song.
Oh,
It was like Native by Nature, trying
love
to get
it
at me
too.
like
We
a
got-
cell phone pager.
yes, because we got Native by Nature, and it's true though, because literally we Native by Nature.
My first idea for Native by Nature was indigenous to the land, because at the time I was living in Tsleil-Waututh, and I was surrounded by nature. Like, I'd open my door and I'd see deer. And I was like, my parents back home, they love this.
They love it. I love
Yeah, that's so and then the hip hop brain in me was like, Native by Nature.
it. Yeah.
Boom. At first, it wasn't even supposed to be what it is. It was just
Yeah.
a fluke. I made a T-shirt. I walked through Granville. Like 10 people were feeling it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, maybe we're onto something.
Yeah.
And then we started printing, and then we got sponsored for a trademark for the brand
Nice.
from this agency, which is now closed, but they helped create the first run of T-shirts and the first run of everything. And they took a box to Hawaii, sold out.
Wow.
We had our box out here, sold out.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we just kept running with it.
Not a fluke.
No.
Not a fluke. It was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to ask you something heavy. How do you feel about the whole 215? We're getting heavy here for a moment. For the viewers who are listening and watching, I just want you to search 215 and see what pops up. How does that resonate with you? Like, how does that make you feel? What does that mean for you? What does that mean for First Nations people as a whole?
For the 215, it's actually just the tip of an iceberg. You guys are just seeing the tip of the iceberg. Like, we knew this. We knew, and that's not even imagine, like, the full number is in the thousands. 50,000 probably.
Yeah.
Because, like, when it comes to residential schools, our people suffered heavy. Like there was points where the priest would rape the woman, and then they would take the baby and throw it in a furnace. That's not even counting those ones. That's not even counting the ones that got thrown in the river. That's not even counting the ones that were burned. So I think a lot of the people are only seeing the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Because back home where I'm from, there's so many residential schools.
Yeah. Yeah. Me
So
too.
many.
Yeah. And so for those who don't know what 215 stands for, 215 is the number of deceased children that were found recently in a British Columbia residential school graveyard. Yes, these residential schools actually had graveyards.
Instead of playgrounds.
Instead of playgrounds, they had graveyards. And they were run by the government, the Crown.
The Queen.
Yes, the Queen. Yeah, and the Catholic Church. And they closed the last one in 1996. And there has been thousands upon thousands of missing children as a result of these residential schools. And like you know, I grew up in Edmonton. MzShellz grew up in Regina. And so we grew up in the prairies. We saw, they have a lot of residential schools there. And where I grew up, we saw a lot of the effects. And you can see it heavy from where I'm from in Edmonton. And unfortunately, a lot of the people are so just, they're really racist. Number one, they're totally racist towards Indigenous people.
Yeah.
Completely just heartless when it comes to it. They don't understand. They just want to know, why are the Indigenous people like this? Why do they do this?
Yeah.
And why do they do that? And
Or we're all lazy and we get free shit.
yeah, why are so many of them addicted to things, and why do they do this and why do they do that? But really nobody stops to understand why.
Yeah.
They don't understand why, and I
Yeah.
think part of the problem is that they don't teach it in the schools. I mean,
And if they do
yeah.
teach it, it's a watered down version of what actually really happened. Like
Yeah.
I told my daughter, if your teacher tells you something about residential schools, here, I'm gonna fill you in, and this is what actually really happened.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you tell them this, I'll take you out for a meal and I'll give you a bill.
Yeah.
I'll give you a bill. If you school these motherfuckers, like, I'll give you a bill.
Yeah.
I'll take you out to eat. Like, the day is yours, kid. Like,
Yes.
like, it's not, because when, just a while back, they're like, oh yeah, they said that they came in and it was a good school, and I'm like, no,
It was not.
no, that was murderers. Like,
They
no.
were murderers, yeah. Legit murderers.
But you know what, I was also wondering, like, maybe they don't, right now, they don't know how to tell these stories. So they're using these watered down versions to try to tell our story.
Yeah.
And-
I mean, because let's be real, it's horrific. And how are you
It
going
is.
to tell children that these things happen to little people their age? You know what I mean? How are you going to
younger.
tell children that? But it's important that we figure out a way to do it. This way we'll have some more understanding, some less racism,
Yeah.
and then we can start the whole rehabilitation process.
Yeah.
Because let's be
The
real.
reconciliation can actually happen.
They closed the last school in 1996. I was 11 years old. That could have been me. That could have been you. That could have been anybody in this room.
You know what? I remember when I remember hiding in the attic when they were coming and scooping children. My mom put us in the attic, and she could have went to jail forever for that. But she threw us in the attic, told us to be quiet,
Jesus.
and that's what that was. Other families weren't so lucky. Other families didn't get to go home.
Yeah. So they closed the last school in 1996, and a comparison I'd like to make that we actually spoke about in the backyard here at Idio recording studio is that in America, we know slavery ended, right? Ended. I use that word very loosely. It turned into the prison systems, right? Has the residential school system ended?
No,
It hasn't.
no, it turned into CPS. It turned into MCFD.
What is CPS and MCFD?
Child Protection Services and Ministry of Child and Family Development. It's basically the new residential school, or the 60 scoop, because they're still taking children. They're still separating families. They're still ruining shit.
Yeah. They're destroying lives,
Yeah.
really.
And there's no family rehabilitation
Yeah.
ever.
And unfortunately, it's just a horrible cycle, because a lot of the people who have been abused turn into abusers themselves.
Yeah.
Right. So, and unfortunately, the government has pumped in millions of dollars into fighting people in court so that they don't have to pay them out for the damage they caused to their lives, rather than putting those millions of dollars into rehabilitation for families and supporting the families, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it's a heavy subject, and we can go on for hundreds of
Days.
years,
Yeah.
of years, because that's how long it's been going on, for hundreds of years.
Wake up,
unfortunately.
Canada.
Yes, wake up, Canada. This is, a lot of people want to blame it on tuberculosis.
Yeah, or smallpox, or whatever.
That's how the children died. No, let's listen to the people who lived it.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't discredit their stories,
Yeah.
especially when there's thousands of people who have lived experiences from it. It's a shame, and
Horrific.
Yeah.
Shame on you, Canada.
Shame the Queen. Shame
the
Canada. Shame the church. Shame.
queen.
Shame. Yeah. Anyhow, let's move on. So tell me about a time you overcame adversity in your life.
I would say moving here.
Yeah.
Moving here.
Big
I legit,
change.
so my mother is a part of the missing and murdered Indigenous women. My mother was murdered when I was 1 by some white guy for some money that was like less than $10. So my fight has been always with that, but at the same time, like, she only lived until she was 26. By the time I was 26, I was following her path. I was following the drugs, the alcohol. I was following it all. And I, like, the violence that I was going through, like, domestic violence was very heavy. And if I didn't change, I would have never made it past 26. And that's what I truly believe, that if I didn't change my ways, I would have died when I was 26.
Breaking generational curses here.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
So me moving out here, I knew no one. I knew nothing. My sister, I was actually, when I left, I was going through domestic violence. And when I left, I had shoes and a jacket. And I went from Regina to BC.
With shoes and a jacket.
And shoes and a jacket.
Wow, you're a fighter. This is why I admire you. Wow.
And then my sister, she moved back home, and I had that one split second decision. Do I go home or do I change? And my kids were already in care.
Yeah.
So I had to make that decision where okay, I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay. Everyone thought I was going to fail. Everyone thought I was a deadbeat mom. I got called the worst. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stay. Because I don't see nothing but death going home. So I stayed and I fought it. And I won against the system twice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Twice.
That's what we call a soldier. That's what we call breaking generational curses.
Yes.
And you know
And
what?
it's sad
Your
and lonely.
children are so blessed to have you. Because if it doesn't end with you, it just passes on to them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's it. Like, now my daughter, she's not around anything that's gonna break her down.
Yeah.
Like, she sees me out here hustling. She sees me out here working every day at home. Like, my kitchen is my workspace, and she hates it. She's like, when are you gonna move your stuff? Never.
It's home. You're home with your babies.
Yeah,
That's
like,
what matters.
this is my workspace. Like, little do they know this is for them in the future. I don't know where it's going or where it's leading to.
A lot of the times they don't see it right away, but they'll see it later.
No,
they'll see it later.
They never see it.
Yeah,
but
they'll
it's
see
okay.
it later.
It's okay. They see the hustle.
Yeah.
That's it. I want them to see the hustle. I specifically, sometimes I bring them to my shows to see the hustle.
Yes.
Like, I want them to be a part of this. I want them to see that music is an outlet. Music is healthy. Music is your insides out.
Yes.
Like, music is just...
It is, and I always say this. I might have said this on the last show. I don't know, but yo, the day that music stops is the day that air is gone. There's no more water. There's no more trees.
Facts.
There's nothing.
Everything dies.
It doesn't matter where the fuck you are from on this planet. We all have blood running through our veins, and there's music pumping.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you go. Everybody loves music. Show me one person who doesn't love music. I don't fucking trust them. Don't trust them.
Karen. Fuck you, Karen.
I mean, Karen probably likes music too.
But she probably just hates it on the low.
She don't like our music, but Karen likes music. She likes music. Okay, so how did the lockdowns affect you initially, leading up to now? Ooh. Whether it was positive, negative, how did it work out for you? Because I know for me, at first, I didn't know what the fuck to do. I was confused as hell and a little bit scared, but in the long run, it actually really became a blessing for me. Yeah. So how did it help you?
It was a blessing right from the start.
Yeah.
Right from the start. Well, I lost a bunch of shows. I lost, I was planning a bunch of stuff. I was gonna drop the album, gonna create a Boss Lady tour. Like, it was gonna be something huge, but everything got cut. I got performances cut, festivals cut, this cut, that cut. Like, everything's halted. So as soon as that halted, the music stopped, and I was like, okay, well, let's move on to merch. And then orders coming, orders every week, every day I was making something. And then I was like, okay, well, this is probably the hustle. So I started full on focus merch. And legit, I've had yet to struggle with merch.
That's awesome.
Like, I learned how to do invoices. I learned how to do screen printing, vinyl, heat press, the hats. I got an embroidery machine. Like, my whole business blew.
Amazing.
I actually just got a grant from my band to elevate.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
No, it's doing great. And I love, like, even just Native by Nature. It's so catchy. Because, you know, you got Naughty by Nature, but, you know, it's Native by Nature.
Yeah.
And it's so fitting. It's so fitting because, like, really, Native and nature, it is one and the same.
Yeah.
It's like the same word, really.
Indigenous to the legs.
Yes. Cheers to that. Yo, y'all like our funky cups? Y'all like these funky cups?
This is the
Hey.
Tell them where you got this made.
I did not get these made. These are made by a designer who I don't recall the name of. I actually got these at Winners or Marshall's. They're both the same thing. Marshall's and Winners are owned by the same company. And I've just become obsessed with funky cups. And this is what I got. And hope y'all enjoy it. And so for those who are listening and not watching, those who are listening to the podcast and not watching the recording, just tune in to Vibe Freq Van City on YouTube. That's a VIBEFREQ, as in frequency, Van City, VANCITY on YouTube. And then you can see the funky cups. You can see the awesome Native by Nature merch. And you can watch MzShellz's wonderful fucking performance. I have to say fucking because you gotta put the emphasis on how dope it was. Like, I mean, this girl is fire. Like, she brings the energy, female empowerment, just like for her people. I love it. I love everything about you, girl. I'm so happy that we connected.
Yes.
You're beautiful inside out. And yeah, man, that's it.
Yeah.
That's
Woo!
it.
Thank you for having me. It's beautiful.
If you wanna learn more about MzShellz, check her out on IG, Facebook. I'm gonna have all her links in the description, so check those out. If you like her, send her a tip. I'm gonna put her PayPal account on there. We're gonna have Vibe Freq's PayPal account on here, so if you like this content, we can put more. This is our second episode. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better, and we're gonna keep this thing rolling. And yeah, thanks. Shout out to Idio recording studio for providing the space, the encouragement, the motivation.
Space.
It's beautiful,
too.
right?
Yeah.
The comfort of their own home.
Yeah.
Right? Idio recording studio. Wonderful. So Ja Mixdowns does all the mixing here, right? This whole space back here. And his brother, Jake the Jeweler, he's going to be doing some series here, you know, coming up. So stay tuned for those podcast series. But he does all of the sound equipment out here. So he does the portable recording booth, all of these sound walls. I don't know what to call them. These sound panels.
Sound panels are life right now, though.
But he makes them all. So if y'all want to get some in your own home, he builds them. They build them. So I'll put their links. I'll put their links below too, and y'all check them out. So tune in for our next show. We have episode 3 coming up. I'm not going to tell you who it is yet. Just stay tuned and like and subscribe. Click the links below to check out everybody who's been involved in this beautiful production. And we love you, family. Love you, Van City. Peace.
This from a women going through some shit. This from a women, you don't deserve it. This from a women who said they gon' quit. This from a women, my Brazilian women. Been rock bottom, now I'm quartz problem. Been buck on 'em, now my head's got 'em. Slinging, got my pocket hanging, but you know I'm banging. Follow my trees, so you know where I'm hanging. Had to make a choice, just to hear my voice. I got my shit heard, yeah, I'm making noise. I've been on the up, I'm up, raising boys. Gotta do it big, got some things for my boys. I don't play games, I'm making names for my boys. Got my street team, got my name on the board. No, I ain't bored, no, I just scored. Like an eagle that finally learned to soar. Now my waves up, reaching to the shore. Reaching for some more, you gon' find me at the door. Women resiliency on the map. This from a women going through some shit. This from a women, you don't deserve it. This from a women who said they gon' quit. This from a women, my Brazilian women. I got nothing to lose, making me ill by the way that I use. And this is what I choose, no wonder made the news. Seeing Bob views, can't walk in my shoes. And I rise for my latest, rock for my latest. We rise with the latest, we rise. Beat the patriarchy, yo, don't be too surprised. This from a women going through some shit. This from a women, you don't deserve it. This from a women who said they gon' quit. This from a women, my Brazilian women. This is for all my mothers. We carry ourselves and others. Supernatural beings, we are the resiliency. The indigenous women rise. Indigenous women rise. Indigenous women rise.
I said, the indigenous women rise.
This from a women going through some shit. This from a women, you don't deserve it. This from a women who said they gon' quit. This from a women, my Brazilian women.